Thank you
Thank
very much. Have the opportunity, because it's our anniversary, to have photos taken. I think we have a photographer here, and will give us some instructions to get up here so you can get everybody wherever you need them for a photo. And hopefully,
So, for the benefit of everyone here, this is Helen He. She's a very good friend of mine and a home buddy as well. Member of this church. She's graciously offered to come and take our picture for us today. The one thing I would ask is if you want the name tag on, probably for a photo not have your name tag on. Up to you.
I haven't got mine yet, so I don't know.
I feel like it's a.
Okay, so you may want to take off your name tags. You want everybody up here by the piano so that you can get them.
Yeah, because I want the video in. Okay, so let's just, I'll go up there, I'll see height.
Yeah. Mike, we want you to turn your picture on for the picture anyway, please. Because we want you in the photo. Nope. Come right on now. Yeah. It's shorter in front of the picture.
So,
What?
gentleman right here, could you switch and just come to the outside? And then you can go in here and Cindy will go in here. Right.
Right, yeah, with the short people.
Okay, so, and if you could kind of all angle towards the center. And mine, you get there, you're the center. Okay, so I'm gonna take the blue, I'm gonna move my focal point around to make sure I get a good crisp look of each of you. Kind of a bummer to just smile so long. Thank you.
Toastmaster, David Jones. David, you're up.
All right. Another quote from Dr. Smedley is, if you know when to speak and when to remain silent, your chances of real success are proportionally increased. We gain skill by practice, and we improve by heeding our evaluators. Evaluation is involved in every phase of your life. And at this point, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Mike McCoy. Mike, I don't have a speech introduction for you, so you'll have to introduce yourself on your speech, but let's all give a welcome to Mike McCoy.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, dignitaries. It is certainly a great honor to be part of the 75th anniversary of Club 524, Franklin Toastmasters. This is such an honor to be part of this Jubilee because clearly you, the Toastmasters, represent the greatness of our organization and the longevity that we represent. Each of you is why 75 years is here for this Toastmasters Club. I'd like to share with you a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King in which he said that the quality, not the longevity of one's life is what is important. And along with that, as a Toastmaster, I would also add that for myself, that the quality and the longevity of a Toastmasters Club is what is important. Your club represents quality meetings and longevity. For instance, through your Toastmasters Club, there have been thousands of speeches given, thousands of table topics given, and thousands of members who have become greater leaders as a result of the Toastmasters organization and education program. The longevity and consistency of leadership is evident in Franklin Toastmasters. Look at us right now. We're here. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. We're all like, wow, we're here. We're energized. We're charged up. This is what it's about. We love Toastmasters. Don't be dry this morning. Come on, put it up, everybody. We love it. And that's what you all represent today. You all represent the greatness of an organization that has been around for 75 years. Think about it. 75 years ago, President Truman was the president. He signed the National Security Act, which enabled to have the Department of Defense, the CIA or Central Intelligence Agency. And these are the things that were going on at that time. Fast forward to where we are now. We have a different world climate. But the one thing that I argue that remains the same is the greatness and consistency of our world-class communication and leadership program. Toastmasters is where leaders are made. And as I look at every one of you today, I see leaders, I see people who are charged up and who are in love with the idea that we can become better as we invest ourselves in Toastmasters, and Toastmasters invests itself in us. As I take a look at your honors, I mean, certainly, Franklin 524, you have been President's Distinguished and distinguished many times over the years. And you represent the secret sauce of leadership, I dare to say, that Toastmasters is first, but people are always. Toastmasters first, but people always. And as I take a look at you today, I see the greatness that will allow Franklin 524 to be around 75 more years. Because the main thing is that our meetings, your meetings, are our product. And as we take a look at that fact, you all represent that great product. You start on time. You start with great energy. You're constantly marketing yourself. You're asking folks to join our world-class organization. But our world-class organization is only here if we are understanding the needs of the great Toastmasters who sign up year after year. I'm just going to say it. To be around 75 years, you must be doing something right. And you can tell as I'm looking at your smiling faces right now, you all are so charged up. And it's that same smile that attracts people to Toastmasters. Yes, the formula for success is you all. And as we take a look at other factors that allow 75 years to happen, it's another part of the recipe, consistency. Franklin 524, I've heard nothing but high accolades across the district about your club. And the main thing that keeps coming up, the main phrase that people don't know it, but Franklin 524 is one of the best Toastmasters clubs in District 40. And I want to say right now that as I'm part of this great jubilee today, can we put our hands together and just celebrate ourselves for a moment? Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Because what you have should be put in a bottle. What you have right now, I'm going to say, needs to be put in a bottle and given across the district. Consistency, great meeting. I've been to your meetings before in another leadership role. You all are awesome. And the reason I say that you're awesome is because, one, you're very organized, very energized. And when I see people in the club, it's like people are just enthralled with giving the speech. They're enthralled with having that personal connection to other people. And that's what we preach. That's what we always bring up in Toastmasters, the relationship. But I'm going to give you another thought, team. Toastmasters through Franklin Club 524 makes a difference in people's lives. And whether or not people realize that every time you get an opportunity to be in a Toastmasters meeting, you're making a difference in someone's life. Today, our energy, our synergy today is making a difference in someone's life. And you don't even realize it. Every time you encourage someone to take that first speech, that step towards that first speech, where you say, hey, David, man, that was an awesome evaluation. That's the reason that Franklin Club 524 is still here, because people come to improve, and your club consistently and with great vigor gives people the product that they need, which is an extension of our organization. 75 years. Wow. You're like the great foundation of many years of Toastmasters greatness because of what you do, how you do it, and how you promote it to everyone. You don't even realize you promote it, but you do. By having an awesome meeting, by having a wonderful and engaging Toastmaster, and great people who greet people like you did me today. I really just appreciate you all so much. Your energy, your love for Toastmasters, your love for other people. Do you realize that Franklin 524, that as you've been around for 75 years, not only are you stalwart in the Toastmasters universe, but what about the people who you affect in the communities who are looking for that great place to find a family, to find a home? Well, most certainly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say that you have provided that product, and you continue to, because of the secret sauce of leadership that you all give. Consistency, warmth, a great meeting, a love for Toastmasters, and the continual belief that Toastmasters makes a difference in people's lives. And I dare to say that it's not just giving speeches. I dare to say that it's not just giving table topics, but it's the relationships that you built over 75 years that continues to allow your organization to be great yesterday and to be great today and tomorrow. You all, your club, is showing that as an organization, Toastmasters continues to evolve with greatness. And we shine every time that we start that meeting. We shine. Every time you give that Pledge of Allegiance, every time that you recognize who's the best speaker, every time that you show that you are a consistent and powerful organization, you're doing great things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this very quickly. I thank you for this great honor. Your club is beyond a diamond. You'll be here today and 75 years from today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike. Great speech. Now, I'd like to, before I introduce the next speaker, I'd like to take a moment to also introduce a couple of our other guests. One is Larry Goldsmith, who is going to be giving our keynote speech at tonight's dinner. And the other one is Helen He, who is from Shanghai, China. I met Helen when she at the International Convention in Vancouver several years ago, and she is currently on Toastmasters International Board of Directors. So welcome, Helen, and welcome, Larry. Helen helped organize our joint meeting with members of the Shanghai Club during the middle of COVID. So I don't know if you remember that, but for those of you who attended, but thank you very much for that. And I think it's 24 hours difference over there right now, isn't it? All right. Okay, our next speaker is Susan Stasiak. Here. Susan, ACSCL, has been a Toastmaster a long time in the Franklin Club. And we asked her to give some history about our club, but instead she's going to speak about one of our members' very distinguished history in the Franklin Club and beyond. Please help me to welcome Susan Stasiak, whose speech title is The Best Is Yet to Come. The Best Is Yet to Come, Susan Stasiak.
Happy 75th year anniversary. Franklin Club, wonderful. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Who would have known that when I first joined Toastmasters Franklin Club, the gifts that would be offered to me? A significant and special gift was a friend. Toastmaster offered me a special friend. It all started when I paid my taxes. Yes, taxes. I'm talking about taxes. I was about a year into being a new Toastmaster at Franklin Club when I met a remarkable woman, Margaret Hill. It was the end of the workday, and Margaret was one of the few employees in the office still working. She was the tax administrator for the city of Westerville, where we both lived at the time, although we had never met. I sought her out because I needed to change the title of my tax bill. I'd been recently divorced. Margaret was easy to talk with, and once we got the bill straightened out, she shared her divorce experiences. I listened intently because I really needed to learn about how to maneuver as a single woman and as a female business owner of my newly launched training company. I enthusiastically spoke about Toastmasters to her, explaining how it was helping me develop speaking skills. I told her it was a great testing ground for my speeches before presenting those speeches to my clients. Margaret was hooked on Toastmasters right away and joined the Franklin Club in March of 1988. She was my first recruit, and she was a woman on fire. First, she served as treasurer, then VP of Education, then the president of Franklin Club. After achieving her CTM, ATM, and DTM, she became Area 25 governor, and within District 40, Margaret was the public relations officer. Then the secretary for 3 terms there, then the treasurer for 2 terms, and then awarded Toastmaster of the Year twice for District 40. She even ran for Lieutenant Governor of Marketing with a campaign slogan, "Target your vote for Margaret." I'm sure there are many other wonderful, active, focused members that help sustain the longevity of Franklin Club and its excellent reputation, as Mike just talked about, but I'm prejudiced. Margaret was one of the most distinguished Toastmasters from Franklin Club that I knew of, and in my mind, top shelf of champions from District 40. Her Toastmaster success stemmed from her willingness to accept invitations to work on various projects and committees. Plus, she wanted to remind me that she completed the Youth Leadership Project at Hilliard Darby High School in 1999. She got involved with Toastmasters International by helping candidates run for office and was even invited to be a ballot counter at 3 different years' international conferences in the US and in Canada. Margaret was delighted to meet and get to know members from all over the world. That was a real high for her. Today, she reflects on the many gifts from all those years of Toastmaster involvement. She says it has broadened her worldview and continues to use it to enrich her speaking, listening, and learning, even in retirement. Toastmasters skills serve her well in the Florida Condo Association where she lives. She keeps discussions on time and on topic. Margaret hopes her background and history of being active in Franklin 524 will encourage all of us to keep active and stay active, not only in Franklin, but beyond the club. She'd like to offer us this quote from Franklin Gotha: "Until one is committed, whatever you can do or dream, you can do it. Begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." Even though Margaret and I had different objectives in our long-term Toastmaster memberships, we gained similar benefits. Here are just 3 of the many gifts we got from Franklin Club, and perhaps you are getting those too. The first gift was learning to always do our best. Doing our best was suiting up and showing up, speaking, taking other roles, going to contests, going to picnics, and going to conferences. There was and still are plenty of involvement opportunities in the club and beyond. Involvement and commitment are kissing cousins, actually. The more we were involved, the more committed we were to our goals. But always doing our best is not the same as always doing it perfectly. Mistakes are okay. In fact, they're actually particularly helpful because hopefully we learn from them. The second gift, excuse me, the second gift was appreciation. Franklin Club was and still is a place to be appreciated. Speech evaluations were helpful and encouraging, but I couldn't wait to get those love notes. Oh, those love notes were wonderful. Our club always was a receptive audience. Our members seemed to value what we had to say and ultimately help us feel valued as a speaker. The support and safe haven the club members gave us continues to give and help us find our own style, our unique essence, and our personal contribution to the world. That alone creates the real Jody, the real Jason, the real Peter, and the real Patricia. When we are valued and we value ourselves, we become more spontaneous, more creative, more authentic. And that's the third gift. The third gift from Toastmasters, especially Franklin Club, is finding our voices. I believe we have, as speakers, a calling. I believe we're called to use our voices to create, to share, to connect, to even heal. Standing in front of you over the years, we shared our experiences with each other. And as we do, our messages become more distinct, more fervent, more powerful, because we are authentic and more aligned with our words. So they go hand in hand. It takes time. That's why Margaret and I have over 3 decades of being in Toastmasters, to continue to grow and develop. I don't want to miss out. The best is yet to come. Congratulations and happy anniversary, Franklin Club. You have birthed us and helped us develop as speakers and as more self-aware and compassionate people. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Susan. What an inspirational speech. I love this club.
Thank you.
A couple more quotes from Dr. Ralph Smedley. 1, it would be very dull if we all talked alike. Fear is one of nature's best gift to man. Any word becomes a bad word if used too often. Real communication is impossible without listening. And Toastmasters is learning through doing and improving through criticism. Next, we're going to bring up our table topics master. Cindy Golden, would you come up here and lead us in a few table topics?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The point of our table topic session is to develop a system where we can practice speaking on an impromptu basis. Many times you are called upon to answer questions at work, at home, in various situations that you need to think on your feet. So this gives us an opportunity to practice. For our club, for the Jubilee celebration that we have today, diamonds are known for their durability, clarity, and beauty, all of which describe a club, a relationship, a marriage. So I would like for someone to come up and describe us as a club in terms of our durability, clarity, and beauty. How many takers either online or in the room here? I have another question if that one is too hard. Okay. Our club is 75 years old, and in 75 years, it'll be 2097. Can someone come up and please describe what you think a meeting might look like, or what our world might look like in 2097? Kathy Fraley, all right.
I was just sitting at my seat, looking at the list that I always make of who's here in the room and who's on the screen. And it occurs to me that a long time ago, everybody was in the room at my Toastmasters Club. And now I'm seeing that there are 11 people online and 8 or 9 of us here in the room. So the people that are participating remotely outnumber the people in the room. And we're all still getting the wonderful benefit of being in a group of people that will help us to learn better communication skills. I'm really impressed with that. I cannot imagine what this will look like in 2095, and I truly don't expect to be here to document it or speak to you about it at that time. But I'm thinking we're talking more about like the Jetsons or something, or maybe even farther beyond that. But it's going to be awesome, and Franklin will still be here.
Thank you. Amazing. Do we have time for one more?
One more?
One more? Okay, one more. Okay. It's my favorite quote from actually Susan Stasiak, and she brought it up a little bit in her speech today. Growth comes from commitment. I would like for any one of you to come up and just talk a little bit about why you joined Toastmasters and Franklin 524, and what have you gained from it, either past or present. David E.B. Mr. David?
Why did I join Toastmasters? The first time. It was 1979. I had become the youngest manager of a bonded oil gas station ever. That was not the career path I wanted, but it paid bills. It was a lot of work. I needed more skill at presenting myself in an interview to be able to achieve a new position. I really wanted to be in engineering, or at least starting in technical role to become an engineer, and I didn't have a degree. I had to do a lot of talking to make that work. I went through the Dale Carnegie course in 1979. I was invited by Eldon Phillips, a past international director of Toastmasters, who was one of my gas station clients. He was a volunteer that helped along with that class, and he said, you know, you really need to take the next step and join Toastmasters. I had no idea how right he was. Toastmasters gave me skills that not only took me into that new position, but then when we moved to Delaware County in '86, I started to get involved in local government, ended up 12 years as township trustee, worked on capital planning for the county, led that, and have had many other roles in the public. I never would have been able to do that if it wasn't Toastmasters. But the job took me away from Toastmasters. So I had this serious gap of time, decades in fact. Once my schedule freed up, get close to retirement, you know what? I miss Toastmasters. I've got to get back to that. that great environment, and the chance to build my skills further. Thank you.
Okay, I believe that concludes our time for table topics. Thank you all for participating, and I'll turn it back over to David Jones, who is our Toastmaster today. David.
Okay. All right, a couple more quotes from Dr. Schmedley. Our responsibilities are defined by our opportunities. Our responsibilities are defined by opportunities. Remember that next time that positions open up as club officers. All of you, each of you have not been a club officer. Think about that. We could really use that at next time when that comes around, which happens every year. The Toastmaster Club is fundamentally an educational organization. And lastly, let me give a quote about celebration. Celebrations infuse life with passion and purpose. They summon the human spirit, and that represents our club. Now, at this point, we're going to go into the evaluation portion of our meeting. So, Kathy Fraley, come back up and lead us in the evaluation portion.
Thank you, David. Our first speech evaluator is Dave Beebe, and he will be talking to us about Mike McCoy's speech. Welcome him back up.
Well, what an honor it is to have Mike McCoy, DTM, our area director, speak to us about our Diamond Jubilee. I really don't know how to evaluate somebody who's got that much more experience than I do. I'm going to give it a shot here. The structure was excellent. The clarity was great. It was a good pace, good diction, good vocabulary, so it was very easy to understand. Vocal variety was great. There was a time when he tried to almost like tell us a secret. We knew it wasn't a secret. But eye contact and comments showed the audience awareness. Even on Zoom, he got that accomplished. Hand gestures. He had a variety of hand gestures and other gestures as well. There were times that he was sitting very straight looking at us. There's other times he was a little off to a tilt there to give us some variety. The comfort level, as much as he spoke, and no wonder he has a good comfort level. It was an interesting topic. Certainly it's our Jubilee meeting. Well supported. He said that our club gives people the product that they need. Certainly it does. Thank you for pointing that out. And yes, relationships are an important part of what we do. What could I recommend in the future? Somehow, I'm not going to say how it happened, we ended up without having a title and introduction for that speech. That's really the only thing I saw that was missing or needed improved upon. And that's my presentation on this evaluation. Thank you again for being with us today, Mike McCoy.
Thanks. Our second evaluator is Erlene Reed, and she'll be evaluating the Big Get speech. Take it away, Erlene.
Good morning, everyone. And first, I would like to say I'm very happy to be a part of this Jubilee celebration with all of you. Susan, your speech, there is very little I can say for improvement, but I can say a whole lot of what you did that was great. Your speech was 7 to 9 minutes, I believe, but even though that timing, everything that you had put into the speech, the time, this was minimum. I didn't even know it was that long. Your introduction, you had an introduction to your speech, and right off the bat, you actually just grabbed us when you came back and you said, about a gift, what a gift offered you. And then you said you went into your special friend. And what was funny, you was talking about taxes, and then you went into the part about, there was a change in your life from being married to stepping into being divorced, and how Toastmaster, even through all of that, was something that came out that was a great benefit to you. That was, to me, was like, wow, that had me from the beginning. And also you talked about how how Toastmaster was a great testing ground and things that we go through in life and how we in communication. You talked about Margaret, and I was just amazed of all the things that you had lined up that she had accomplished. Because I had an opportunity to meet her when I was there in Columbus, Ohio, for a little bit before she moved down to Florida, and I was like, wow, And I thought that was just amazing. And then from that point, you went into I like the slogan that you said that she was your first recruit, which means that you were at the beginning when everything started out. So I know that was like, wait, yes, I brought her in, and this and every, and then this is what she benefit. You had a lot of energy. I can tell that you had a lot of joy in what you were talking about. I felt that, even though we're on Zoom, I felt that. And that was great. Your hand gestures, even though we can't see you face to face or in person, but your hand gestures on Zoom was great. Your voice, you can tell when you was talking about something that you truly enjoy. I felt all of that energy. I also, too, we went into the benefits of Toastmasters, the relationship. You went into her willingness to volunteer and how she got to where she was able to go. Then what also was I thought was great, you came back to yourself and you was transparent how you both shared some common things, and you named them off by learning to do your best and participating, um, participating, appreciation, the little love notes. And then you went into finding your voice. Those were common things that you also got out of Toastmasters. And I also felt at the end that you had a great closing. It wasn't a short cut off. You kind of went back and summarized everything from your title that the best is yet to come. You finished it up at the end. Your best is still yet to come. And I just thought it was a great way of the whole. I can't find the words, but I just thought it was a great way of bringing everything together. You did a marvelous job, and I think the only thing I can say for a suggestion, I would love to hear the speech if we more in person, but other than that, you did a great job, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Great, Arlene. I do want to call your attention to the fact that we have a past president on our screen. Is that correct, Mr. Urbanski? And would you tell us when you were president of Franklin 524? Can you tell us?
Well, hello, everyone. It's very exciting to be back in the saddle here, so to speak, with Franklin 524. I joined, I believe, in 1988 as well, and I was the chapter president right after Mr. Glenn Dickey in 1989 to 1990, and I believe that was the year that Toastmasters changed their calendar. So I was actually, I had an 18-month term instead of the normal 12-month term. And I had been, previous to that, I had been educational VP. And before that, I think I was VP of marketing and PR. So it was a very exciting time. I really enjoyed it. And it's great to see Susan. I remember back in the day, the evaluations and the presentations and the excitement that being a part of the Toastmasters organization brought to me. And as much as it is a speaking organization, to me, I was very young at the time. I believe when I joined, I was 21 or 22, and it was a very important time for me to really build confidence. And that's one of the things that I think our Franklin 524 Club is so strong with. It's so supportive, so nurturing, and I really enjoyed it. And now my wife and my 14 and 16-year-old kids are also getting involved in it, and it's very exciting for me to see the torch being carried on.
Thank you very much. That's amazing. With I'll start my evaluation. I think it's really important for all of us to realize that flexibility is part of the reason that this club has lasted 75 years. You notice that our Toastmaster today, David Jones, is virtual. He had every intention of being here physically to be our Toastmaster. However, an unexpected event, which was his wife tested positive for COVID, made it so that he is a virtual Toastmaster today. The fact that we have the technology, that Dave Eby comes here and sets up all the equipment, and the flexibility that we have to offer to the members is a great part of why we continue to thrive. And I believe we thrive. We do not just survive, this club thrives. The organization that it took for getting this particular meeting ready, we wanted to welcome everybody. There is a guest book out on the table, I believe, and we would really appreciate just knowing you were here. So please sign that if you haven't already done so. The speakers today had amazing energy and were really part of our celebration. And those things are really important. Mike talked about the secret sauce. I like secrets. I like things that are exciting, and we do have the secret sauce. Leadership opportunities are also part of Toastmasters. Many people come here to learn to talk better, and we also got a plug-in for wanting to be an officer, because being an officer helps you to develop the leadership skills that you may use in your career going forward. And I talked to Jason. He wants to start a jiu-jitsu school, right, Jason? He's trying to start his own business. And he's here to learn to speak better and to learn the skills that he needs to start a business. There are all kinds of reasons that people come here, and whatever the reason is that you're here, all you have to do is let us know how we can help you accomplish your goals. A good part of that, however, is the communication skills that you've seen demonstrated by our really great speakers. And I know the sunflower up here is Larry. Larry, it was in the very first club that I joined down at Nationwide, and I'm looking forward to seeing him at our banquet this evening. It is not too late if you are still interested in going to Gianmarco's this evening. We would love to see you there. This meeting has been long anticipated, and it has not disappointed me at all. It has been phenomenal. Thank you very much for being here, either virtually or in person. And now I would like to call up Michael Marion. Chris, would you like to come up and tell us how we did on our Jubilee word and such? Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on, I need to add Kathy to the word of the day. Very clean, very clean meeting. And initially I'm thinking, wow, I'm not hearing anything. What am I missing? And then I realized all the great speakers, we have DTMs, and Susan's, she's a DTM in my book. So great job. I did get 3 word of the day, and I apologize if I missed you. I've got Kathy Fraley, Dave Eby, and Erlene. Some interesting words and phrases. Many facts from Dave Jones. One example, minimum wage was 43 cents per hour in 1947. Many quotes of speaking success by Ralph Smedley. One, our responsibilities are defined by our opportunities. A bunch by Mike McCoy. I see the greatness in this club to last another 75 years. What we have in this club should be put in a bottle Stalwarts in the Toastmasters universe. Secret sauce of success. I thought it was pretty cool when Dave said, now introducing Helen He from Shanghai, China. Pretty neat. Margaret Hill. I only know Margaret Hill from being treasurer and receiving her checks. I coordinated. She still pays every 6 months. And so we got to talk a little bit. I didn't know all of these things. Toastmaster of the Year twice for District 40 from Susan Stasiak, and involvement and commitment are kissing cousins. A couple more. One from Dave Eby. Why did I join Toastmasters the first time in 1979? And good diction. Finally, from Erlene, I felt the joy you had when speaking. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Kathy.
Thank you. And Patricia, would you give us a timers report?
I am thoroughly enjoying the 75th Diamond Jubilee celebration today. Our timers are timed for the speeches today with Speaker 1, Mike McCoy, with 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Speaker 2, Susan Stasiak, 8 minutes, 18 seconds. Table topics with Kathy, 1 minute, 17 seconds. David Eby, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Evaluator 1, David Eby with 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Evaluator 2, Erlene Reed, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. And our general evaluator, Kathy, at 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I will turn this back to our Toastmaster, David Jones.
Okay, one last quote from Dr. Schmidley. There is value in the comparison of ideas and experiences, and through the sharing of ideas, progress is made. And that's what we're doing in this club. We share our experiences, our stories, our life. And that's what makes this club great. Helen He had to leave to go to another meeting, but she says that she would like to try to do another joint meeting at some time, so we can look for that at some point in the future. I don't know whether it'll be with the same club in Shanghai or perhaps a different one. I don't know. And now, word from our sponsor, our president, Dave Eby. Come back up, David.
Thank you, David. As wonderful as the meeting is today, my thoughts are also with those who couldn't be with us today. David and Tracy Fouch, Stephanie, others that are members or frequent visitors. And I know that they would be here if they could, but traveling and such, they can't. David brought up some great quotes. Previously, David Jones found that there is a video of the 65th meeting on YouTube. I watched that and also printed out some of the documents. They had Letters to the Future contest for that meeting, and all of them are back there on the back table. A theme of that meeting was, if I have seen if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants, from Sir Isaac Newton. Certainly there are giants in Toastmasters, and our success comes from that. But I believe that part of what you seek in Toastmasters, you actually bring with you. We just help you find and polish it. With that, we're already at time. I need to end this meeting officially. There's coffee and donuts outside the door there for us. Please, no need to rush off today and stay a while. And does anybody online have any last comments as we end the meeting? Arlene?
I have a question. I have a question. Will the event tonight be available to view on Zoom?
That's my intention. Using the same login.
Okay. And what time is that? Is that,
We're supposed to start at 6:30 and eat at 7, and the
Okay.
speakers after that.
okay,
So by 7:30, we ought to be having speakers on. Maya.
7:30? Okay.
Fellow Toastmasters, I just want to say on behalf of the trio, as your club growth director, thank you so much for having me as a part of this super and exceptional Diamond Jubilee 75th anniversary. Congratulations to you all and many, many more. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mike.
And I believe I got a message from Dawn that this will be our area or division director, that he might be here tonight be able to come for your dinner. So if Don shows up, you'll have an area or a division director there.
We'll have food for him. We've got a couple of spots open, thanks to a couple of changes. So as what you're aware, so there's room for more people to come. No need to be shy about that. And Brian, thank you for coming for attending with your family today on Zoom. Brian.
One last plug. The international convention this year is going to be in Nassau in the Bahamas. So if you want to meet Helen in person, think about maybe that's a really nice place to go for a vacation. You know, it's usually in the middle of August, but the Bahamas is great. So who knows?
Donations, if anybody wants to contribute to the Nassau Fund, so I can go.